Hey y'all, so this is Coach Jacobs. We're gonna go ahead and do the do now. So I'll read the question for you and then you're gonna answer it after. So the amount of butter needed for a cookie recipe varies directly with the amount of flour needed for the dough. If half a tablespoon of butter is needed for 2 cups of flour, how many tablespoons of butter is needed for 5 cups of flour? So go ahead and read the question yourself, solve the problem, and then come back here. So give yourself about 5 minutes and then I'll give you the answer and discuss with your teacher how you got your answer. All right, so pause the video right now. Okay, welcome back. So the answer for that first question was B. And then I want you to make sure you explain it to your teacher how you got that answer, and then we're going to move on. All right. So next thing, I want you guys to look at this preview challenge. It's talking about, it reads, if pictures are worth 1,000 words, then this picture surely tells us something. Carefully read the graph and come up with as many things as you can about what this picture is saying to us. So over here, we have a graph. It has Jerry, Marissa, Calvin, and Alicia. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be looking at this, and you can see the slopes, and they're all negative slopes if you notice. But they all start over here. So looks like Jerry has the most, well, I'll give you an example. So Jerry has the most gas right here, but he runs out of gas in the least amount of time. Marissa, she starts out with not as much gas as Jerry, but gradually over time, she runs out of gas. And what maybe that's telling me is Jerry may be driving a big truck that runs out of gas because it's not fuel efficient, and maybe Marissa drives an SUV that's very fuel efficient, and it doesn't take her as long to go through gas as Jerry. Now you come up with something different, and that's fine. So take this time to tell your teacher some things or write down some things that you see in this picture right here. So in another opportunity, I want you to pause the video right now and write those down, and then make sure and show your teacher. All right, now moving on, we're going to be talking about A.3C. You're going to be graphing linear equations on the coordinate plane and determining slope and y-intercept in the mathematical real-world problems today. And then you're going to get 4 questions and make sure you determine them. The slope and y-intercept with 75% accuracy. Now here's some key terms. We have slope, y-intercept, x-intercept, 0, solution, and rise or run. So your slope is just, I want you to remember it's your m. Your y-intercept is just going to be simply your b. Your x-intercept is going to be on the coordinate plane. It's going to be your first number, x and y. So for instance, if it's on this x-axis, it would be this 3 right here. 0 is just a flat line across. Solution, rise over your run, is going to be, your rise is going up, and then your run is going over. Let me rewrite that. So rise, again, is up, run is over. And then your b, of course, is your y-intercept. So make sure you know these words when we're going over it. Slope is your m, your b is your y-intercept, and your x-intercept you should know from your coordinates. All right, so use the equation to find the slope and the y-intercept, then graph. So right here, and we're going to be discussing on this graph. We're going to just look at this one, and you can follow me on this one right here, and you can potentially with your teacher go over another scale. But we're going to focus right here, 1-to-1 scale. So we have 3/5, so 3/5, and then -2. So what I mean right here is we're going to write our formula, yes, y equals mx plus b. Our m is going to be our 3/5, and our b is going to be our -2. So over here, we're going to put 3/5 as our m, and our b is going to be -2. All right, so we're going to go ahead and draw our graph here. And our starting point right here is -2. So right here, I want you to put on our y-axis are -2 right here. Then what we're going to do is we're going to rise 3 like it says and run 5. So go up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so there's our second point right here. All right, now we have our 2 coordinates. Now drawing the graph. Now this line's not perfect, but it's close. There's our graph. Okay, so this tells me your slope is up 3 over 5, and it goes through -2 as your starting point or your y-intercept. Go ahead and pause the video right now, and I want you to write this down in your journal, and then you can come back to me and we'll go over the next I do. All right? All right, welcome back again. Here's your second I do. On this I do, we're going to go ahead and do the cubes method, but let's first read the problem and then we'll of course do the cubes method. The graph shows the monthly profit of a startup dry cleaning company. Time in months is X and profit in dollars is Y. What do the slope and y-intercept tell us about this graph and company? So what we're going to do here is use our cubes method. Cubes method looks like this. So cubes, C is circle, numbers, underline the question, box, key terms, eliminate any extra information, and solve. So right here, we don't see any numbers throughout, so we'll just cross out my circle. Then when we see start, so time is time in months. So right here, what do the slope and the y-intercept tell us about the graph and company? So that's our question. So now we've underlined the question. We're going to box key terms. So right here, time is going to be your X, and dollars is going to be your Y. Good. All right. So you'll have your time, your units, you have your boxing, your time, and your dollars. So I'm gonna just put this over here. So our X is gonna be our time. So I'll put a T is our X. This is our X axis. And then our Y is gonna be dollars. This is all dollars right here. That's our Y, of course. So what we've done is we know that right here at -5,000 is our starting point. And if I was to write that out, of course, we go to our Y equals mx plus b form. And our b, in this case, will be 5,000. Now our m is what we're going to try to figure out. Our m is going to be, well, if you look at the line, it looks like it goes to the coordinate right here on the grid. What I mean by grid is when it goes through a grid, it needs to go right there, right smack dab in the middle between the 4 squares right here. That's how we know it's in a good spot, or where I used to call it the sweet spot, but that's where it needs to be. So what we're going to do is to find the slope, we rise over run. Now be careful, your units, they're in thousands. So we're going to go up 1,000 and over, looking at my units, 1. So 1,000 over 1. So what that tells me is my m is 1,000. And our b was -5,000. So when we write this out, we're going to put y equals our m being 1,000, x, sorry about that. So I don't know what that happened there. Sorry, y'all. So again, let me rewrite that again. Technical difficulties, but we will figure it out. All right, so again, right here, we're going to put 1,000 x plus, sorry, it wouldn't be plus, it would be minus because it's a negative. So minus 5,000. All right, so again, we have it. All right, so we have our 5,000 and we've done that. So this is telling us that the company started with negative 5,000 and it is going up by 1,000. And it looks like after 1 month, still owe money. After 2, 3, 4, and then 5 months, it's basically breaking even. So they can start profiting. So it took six months till it made $1,000. Then 7 months, it's made $2,000. So it took 5 months for this company for them to make a profit. And that's what it's telling me in this information. All right, so I hope you enjoyed the video and keep tuning in, and I'll see y'all later.